Please subscribe to my channel. It was well past midnight, and the space beside me in bed remained untouched. Emily, my wife of 6 years, had promised she would be home by 12, after what she casually called a girls' night out. I tried to distract myself, staring at the tide, scrolling endlessly through my phone, but the unease refused to leave. By 2 in the morning, every call I made went unanswered and straight to voicemail. By 3, the silence inside the house felt heavy, broken only by the sound of my own footsteps as I paced the floor. A man knows when something is wrong. Deep down, I already sensed this night had nothing to do with friends. It had everything to do with infidelity. When daylight finally crept in, the anxiety inside me hardened into doubt. 6 years of commitment, honesty, and loyalties. There I was, glued to my phone like a fool, praying for even a sliver of truth. At 10 in the morning, my phone buzzed. I opened the message, hoping for an explanation that might make sense of everything. Instead, the words slammed into me. Morning, babe. Stayed at Sarah's. Don't be mad. Love you. That was it. Short, careless, disrespectful. No apology, no accountability, not even a hint of remorse. She didn't care how I felt at all. That single message said more than she probably realized. The longer I stared at it, the angrier I became. Don't be mad wasn't regret, it was a command. Love you wasn't affection, it was manipulation. It was the kind of text you send when you assume the other person is too weak to question you. She believed I would accept it, just like I always had. But this time, something inside me snapped awake. That message decided everything. I suddenly remembered an Uber receipt I had noticed weeks earlier in her email. She had forgotten to log out of the laptop. The trip ended at a luxury hotel downtown in Austin. That morning, I drove straight there. A brief, polite conversation with the front desk confirmed what I already knew. She had checked in the night before and she hadn't been alone. My heart didn't shatter. It froze. There's a huge difference between suspecting betrayal and holding undeniable proof. I wasn't emotional anymore. I was done. When Emily returned home that evening, she walked in wearing the confidence of someone who believed she'd fooled everyone. Fresh makeup, forced smiles, and a story about Sarah feeling sick. She looked me in the eyes and lied effortlessly. I played along, nodded, even kissed her forehead. She thought I was still the same husband she could deceive. What she didn't know was that I had already decided how her story would end. The following night, I invited her parents over for dinner. They had always liked me, and often reminded Emily how lucky she was. She seemed a bit surprised by the sudden invitation, but didn't question it. I cooked steaks, poured wine, laughed at her father's old military stories. Everything felt normal. I stood up, connected my laptop to the television, and opened a folder labeled The Truth. Screenshots, ride receipts, hotel confirmations. And finally, that smug morning text appeared on the screen. Her parents' expressions said everything. Her mother gasped, covering her mouth in shame. Her father's face tightened with anger and disappointment. Emily stumbled over her words, desperately trying to explain herself, but her excuses collapsed in the silence. I didn't raise my voice. I simply said, calmly, I gave you loyalty. You gave me lies and betrayal. We're done. Those words landed harder than any scream ever could. I went upstairs, grabbed the bag I had prepared earlier, and headed for the door. Emily chased after me, tears streaming down her face, her voice shaking as she begged me to stay. She called it one mistake. She begged me not to destroy everything, but I didn't stop. A mistake doesn't reserve a hotel room. A mistake doesn't send a cold, disrespectful message. This wasn't an accident. It was a choice, and now, so was mine. The next morning, I secured our shared accounts, contacted a lawyer, and protected everything I had worked for. Emily didn't stop trying. Calls, messages, even showing up at my job. I refused to let her rewrite reality. With solid evidence on my side, the divorce moved quickly and heavily in my favor. The law backed me, and so did the truth. Her life unraveled fast. Friends she once bragged to began avoiding her. Rumors spread at her workplace. Whispers of late nights in hotel rooms no excuse could erase. Even her parents, who had once defended her reckless behavior, stepped away. And the man she destroyed everything for vanished the moment things became serious, leaving her alone with the consequences of her actions. She kept messaging me. Some texts were angry. Others begged. A few pretended we could still fix things. I never replied. There was nothing left to say. She ended our marriage the moment she sent that careless text. That was the day she showed me how little our relationship meant to her. That was the moment I stopped being her husband. Months later, when I looked back, I felt only relief. She thought that message would calm me down. Instead, it set me free. Emily lost her marriage, her parents' respect, and the comfortable life she assumed would always be there. I lost nothing. In fact, I gained clarity, strength, and the opportunity to rebuild my life without deception. She expected forgiveness. She expected me to forget. Instead, I walked away, and her own thoughtless words sealed her fate forever.